Welcome to the TrueIMS products video. The products video includes merchandise, stock, inventory, whatever products you're selling through your business.
Just like the customer lists, if you don't have any items in your inventory, you're going to be greeted with both the create and import button, which work very much the same way. In this case, I am going to show you really quickly the create items because it's also going to be the same as editing an item. You're going to see a couple of new options that were not previously available before. The very first one, right at the very top, is the do not display on website. So even if you have an item that has a picture, even if you have an item that has at least one in stock, if you don't want that item to be shown for sale on your website, enabling the option at the very top will ensure it will never be shown on your website, no matter what the settings are within that item. Let me leave that off for now. Another thing we have in the bottom here that is new are your collections, which we'll go over through in a separate video. Categories is the same as before. Filters, on the other hand, you are now able to have multiple filters per item. So in this case, let's say we could have a filter. I'm just going to follow the placeholder here. We can have a red filter. We can have a silver. What's another option we could have for a filter? Long.
Yeah.
Long, short. Long. There we go. So now if a customer searches for any one of those filters, this item is going to show up in that search. Now we scroll down just a little bit. Another new option. We've had quite a few requests for taxation on a per item basis. So right now, it's very nice to say that yes, you can enable or disable taxes on any individual product. They are enabled by default, but if you do have an item that should not be charged any tax, you can enable it right there from the item screen. Now note that you can set this, you can actually overwrite this when you're setting up an order or a basket or an invoice for somebody. This is just a default for this particular item. Next new function is the do not track quantities. What this does, obviously, if we were to enable that, it's just not going to keep track of the quantities. It's basically going to be an unlimited quantity item, which will show up on the website no matter how many items are sold. This usually comes into play for
Services,
on-demand purchases where orders are made custom as an order comes in. So you do have that flexibility as well. And then finally in the bottom, you'll have another option where you can actually add weights. Now, even though there's no shipping integration yet, you will be able to set up shipping rules based on item weight or package weight altogether. I know this is not particularly common, but we at least want to go ahead and get that implemented. So you do have that option. If an item does not have a weight or you're just not really worried about it, just leave it at 0, leave it as it is. You'll be good to go. Virtual products, again, for services, typically you could use that. It just kind of gets rid of that option. Now, next is the biggest addition to the program yet, which are item variations. This allows you to, let's say, if you have a t-shirt shop, which is probably the more common way to have variations on a t-shirt, we could have, let's say, I'm just going to say this is a red t-shirt. Oh, there we go, red t-shirt. And we can go to the bottom and we can go ahead and create a small. We can create a medium, large, and let's say just an XL shirt right here. Then we have 4 different variations for this. Of course, I call it color here, but in this case, we could just call it length or size. And then for each individual variation, we can set its own function. So we can go, let's say the small. We want to enable this one because we do have small ones in stock. We can, let's say, go to price. So this small one is going to cost just $6. Let's see here. We have of these 5. And again, we can go, let's say, so we don't have any mediums anymore. Maybe no larges, but we do have XL. Enable it. And this large one is going to cost $10. And we have 20 of them in stock. And we're going ahead and just create that item. It's really nice. You finally got those variations in there right now where you can just have one product that is shown as one product on your website, but a customer will be able to select different variations depending on which one they want.
So it covers a wide variety of inventory types, whether it's, clothing or if it's, let's say, toys or candles or whatever your product may be. You have many ways of showing the different varieties that you have in stock. So this is a new feature, an exciting feature that was pretty, was widely requested because there are variations to, one product, whether it's color or size or whatever special feature about it is, that makes this an exciting feature. So.
Which brings to the next point. I'm pretty sure you're wondering why we have products and all inventory on the left-hand side. This is really good way to showcase that. Products shows you everything on a per product level. For example, if you were to have another item, it's just going to show up as another item in here. But a variation product is at its core just one product. It just has several different variations. So products will always show it at the very top level. But if you go to all inventory, you're going to notice that we have everything else separated out. And this is probably where you're going to be doing most of your work when it comes to editing items, deleting items, and so on. And just like customers, we can select multiples, and there's a lot to talk about because we have a lot of options here. But we're going to split barcodes up, we're going to split bins up. So we'll talk about that in a separate video. But just like products over here, you can select them and delete them. Now, the last thing I do want to touch upon here is the importer again, just like with customers. It's initially going to look very similar. Go ahead and pick up item right there. It works exactly the same way. You have your columns listed out. The only thing different here is just the amount of options. We have very specific options that apply. Most of them, you probably don't have to worry about it too much. For example, the delimiter in the bottom, the specify image domain. It'll explain what they are, but they're typically only used on direction of support in case you're stuck with somewhere or CSV file is not working for some reason. We can direct you to at least use a couple of those options if required. Now I'll go ahead and just stop this right here. We have our item in there, and I think that will give us plenty to work with.
And again, the program is pretty straightforward. Again, you can enter this manually. You can enter it by importing. So you have, again, two ways to enter your inventory into the program.
Actually, one more thing that you might find different too is we have filters now. Just like customers, and this is where most of the options we have, whether it's commissions, expenses, baskets, invoices, orders, etc., they're all going to have their own set of filters. If you were looking for a specific item, we can go ahead and just click the filter. And in this case, we have a category filter. If we were to, let's say, put in a category right here, I don't think we set up our item with a category, so that's not going to work now. But if you're looking for specific items within a category, go ahead and add that filter. Select your category right here, and it's only going to show those items. You can then still search for items using the search function within that category as well.
Well, this concludes our products or inventory video in the TrueIMS Getting Started series. Thank you.